The sun rose above Savatthi, illuminating the city's bustling streets. Merchants called out to passers-by, displaying goods. Amid the crowd's clamor, Buddha stood in serene silence. Disciples gathered around him, each holding an empty alms bowl. Buddha looked at them, his gaze calm and piercing. An empty bowl is the beginning of wisdom, Buddha began softly. His voice reached each disciple's heart. It does not cling to what it receives. The disciples listened attentively, their minds focused on the simplicity of his words. Life is constant flow. Embrace this truth with clarity and acceptance. Buddha pointed to his empty alms bowl. This bowl waits patiently, free of desires and attachments. One young disciple, eager to learn, stepped forward. "Master," he asked, "how can we cultivate such patience and clarity in our busy lives?" Buddha's smile was gentle, full of compassion. Small practices anchor the mind. Like stones anchoring a flowing river, Buddha replied, his tone unwavering yet kind. When you wake in the morning, Buddha instructed, pause before rising, breathe deeply 3 times and ground your thoughts in presence. The young disciple nodded, absorbing each word with sincerity. Another disciple, struggling with distraction, raised his voice hesitantly. "Master, I find it hard to remain mindful amidst daily tasks. How do I overcome this?" Buddha held up his alms bowl, rotating it gently. It does not lament its smallness, nor does it envy the mountains towering above. Yet, it plays its part in the grand tapestry of existence. Breathing deeply for 3 moments during difficulty calms the mind. Simple acts sustain peace amidst chaos. A merchant approached, offering fragrant fruits for Buddha's bowl. Buddha accepted the gift with grace. Gratitude nurtures peace, Buddha remarked. Addressing his disciples, express thanks for life's simplest offerings, and find abundance within. The disciples observed Buddha's gestures, each one rooted in mindfulness. Walking down the street, Buddha noticed a struggling farmer trying to lift a heavy sack. Buddha stopped and watched. "Look at the farmer," Buddha pointed out. "His effort mirrors life's struggles. Patience eases hardship, but mindfulness transforms it." The farmer, overhearing Buddha's words, smiled and bowed. His burden felt lighter, as if the lesson uplifted his spirit. Continuing their journey, Buddha guided his disciples to the riverbank. Water flowed steadily, reflecting sunlight. Buddha sat and gestured for his disciples to join. "Watch the river," Buddha began. "Notice its flow. It is neither hurried nor stagnant." He touched the water with his hand. Flowing water is like life, it adapts and embraces change. A disciple questioned, "Master, how do we embrace change without fear?" Buddha dipped his fingers into the water, letting droplets fall back into the river. "Release fear as water releases drops," Buddha instructed. His wisdom profound yet simple. The disciples observed the interplay of water and droplets. Contemplating the depth of his teaching, children ran by the riverbank, laughing joyfully. Buddha smiled, observing their lightheartedness. "Children embody simplicity," Buddha said, living in the present without clinging to past or future. The disciples shared smiles among themselves, inspired by the children's carefree nature. Buddha stood and continued walking, his pace measured and steady. By midday, Buddha reached the city's central square. The crowd grew larger, filled with diverse faces and voices. A woman carrying a crying baby approached Buddha hesitantly. Buddha looked at her kindly. "What troubles your heart?" Buddha asked, his compassion evident. "My child is hungry and restless," the woman replied, desperation in her voice. Buddha extended his alms bowl toward the crowd. "Share with those in need," Buddha said, addressing them. Generosity nourishes both the giver and receiver. Several townsfolk stepped forward, offering food and comfort to the woman and her child. The woman's tears transformed into smiles of gratitude. Turning to his disciples, Buddha spoke, Generosity is a practice of mindfulness. It strengthens compassion and fosters interconnectedness. The disciples absorbed his words, recognizing the profound wisdom in simple acts. Buddha continued, "When your bowl is filled, let its contents nourish others." True fulfillment arises in sharing. The afternoon brought peaceful calm to the city. Buddha and his disciples walked toward a shaded garden. Birds chirped softly, their songs resonating through the trees. Buddha sat beneath an old tree, its roots deep and strong. "This tree offers shade without seeking praise," Buddha remarked. Admiring its presence, a disciple asked, "Master, how do we cultivate such humility in our lives?" Buddha touched the tree's trunk, feeling its rough texture. "Serve others without seeking recognition," Buddha responded. Actions rooted in humility deepen inner peace. The disciples nodded, inspired by the simplicity and truth of Buddha's teaching. As the sun set, casting golden hues across the sky, Buddha addressed his disciples one final time for the day. "Life is a series of moments," Buddha said, his voice soft yet resolute. "Each moment offers a chance to practice mindfulness and compassion." The disciples bowed, their hearts filled with gratitude for Buddha's wisdom. The city's sounds softened as night approached, creating a tranquil atmosphere. Buddha's teachings reverberated in the minds of his disciples, transforming their perspective on life's simplicity. That night, as the disciples rested, they reflected on Buddha's words and presence. Each one resolved to integrate small practices into their daily lives. The empty alms bowl became their symbol of mindfulness, simplicity, and interconnectedness. Buddha's teachings had woven a thread of clarity through their busy lives, leaving an everlasting impact. The lessons of the day echoed through Savatthi, carried by the whispers of those who witnessed Buddha's teachings. His wisdom, rooted in simplicity, brought clarity to all who embraced his guidance. The alms bowl, empty and humble, became a testament to life's profound truths. Another day, another journey began as Buddha and his disciples walked through the countryside. Fields stretched wide under the morning sky. The air carried the scent of fresh earth and blossoming flowers. Buddha paused at a clearing near a grove of ancient banyan trees. He turned to his disciples and spoke. "Observe the tree before you," Buddha said, his tone calm and deliberate. Its roots anchor it deeply, providing unwavering stability. The disciples looked at the towering banyan tree, its branches spreading far and wide like a protective canopy. Buddha continued, "Life is filled with storms that test our strength. A deeply rooted mind resists the winds of confusion." One disciple, troubled by his own doubts, asked softly, "Master, what if our roots are not yet deep? How do we begin to strengthen them?" Buddha approached the tree and touched its sturdy trunk. "Begin with small moments of mindfulness," Buddha replied. "Each moment waters the roots of understanding within your mind." He paused, letting the disciples absorb his words. "Choose one daily task, simple and humble, as your starting point for mindfulness practice." A bird perched high in the tree sang sweetly, its song blending with the rustling leaves. Buddha gestured toward the bird. "Even the smallest acts of nature resonate deeply," Buddha said. "Let your mindfulness grow through small, consistent efforts." The disciples listened intently, their hearts stirred by the simplicity of the lesson. "Consider each step you take today," Buddha continued, "as an opportunity to ground your mind and deepen your roots." The grove grew quieter, as if the trees themselves were listening to Buddha's wisdom. Walking deeper into the grove, Buddha and his disciples encountered a traveler resting by the path. The traveler's face showed weariness, yet his eyes held curiosity. Buddha greeted him with kindness and asked, "Friend, what brings you here?" The traveler replied, "I seek peace, but my mind is restless and burdened by life's troubles. How can I find relief?" Buddha gestured for the traveler to join them under the shade of the banyan tree. Sit and observe the tree's stillness, Buddha instructed gently. Its calm presence teaches patience and strength. The traveler sat, his breathing gradually slowing as he studied the tree's quiet majesty. Buddha continued, inner peace is like the tree's roots. It takes time and care to grow. The traveler bowed, gratitude filling his heart, and he resolved to cultivate patience in his own life. As the sun climbed higher, casting dappled light through the leaves, Buddha gathered his disciples. Take one moment each day to sit in stillness, Buddha said. Let your mind connect with the ground beneath you. The disciples nodded, inspired by the simplicity and depth of the practice. Buddha led them to a stream flowing gently through the grove. The water sparkled under the sunlight, its movement graceful and steady. The stream flows effortlessly, Buddha observed. Its path shaped by the terrain but untroubled by obstacles. One disciple, struggling with fear of uncertainty, asked, Master, how can we remain calm when life's terrain is difficult? Buddha knelt by the stream and let the water flow over his hands. Adapt to challenges as water adapts to its path, Buddha replied. Flow without resistance, and find peace within. The disciples watched the stream intently, realizing the profound lesson hidden in its simplicity. Buddha stood and continued walking, his steps unhurried and purposeful. Life's journey is like flowing water, Buddha said. It teaches us to embrace impermanence with grace. As the afternoon unfolded, Buddha and his disciples reached a hillside overlooking the countryside. The view stretched far, revealing distant villages and fields. Buddha paused, gazing at the horizon, his expression serene. The horizon reminds us of life's boundless possibilities, Buddha remarked. Do not let fear narrow your vision. A disciple, overcome by self-doubt, asked hesitantly, Master, how can we see possibilities when our minds are clouded by fear? Buddha knelt and drew a line in the soil with his finger. Fear creates boundaries, Buddha explained, but mindfulness expands your view beyond them. The disciple gazed at the horizon and felt a newfound sense of hope. Buddha's wisdom opened their minds to the vastness of life's potential. The hillside, bathed in golden light, became a place of reflection and inspiration for the disciples. Evening approached, casting long shadows across the land. Buddha and his disciples reached a quiet village nestled in the valley. Villagers greeted them warmly, offering food and water with humble generosity. Buddha accepted their kindness with grace and turned to his disciples. Generosity creates connections, Buddha said, his voice gentle yet firm. It nurtures both the giver and receiver, deepening the roots of compassion. The disciples observed the villagers' simplicity and generosity, feeling inspired to cultivate kindness in their own lives. As the stars appeared in the night sky, Buddha addressed his disciples one final time for the day. Let your roots grow deeply through mindfulness, humility, and kindness, Buddha said. These practices anchor your mind amidst life's storms. The disciples bowed in gratitude, their hearts touched by Buddha's teachings. Under the canopy of stars, the banyan trees stood as silent witnesses to the day's wisdom. The grove became a sacred space, holding the echoes of Buddha's words. That night, the disciples reflected on their journey, integrating the day's lessons into their thoughts and actions. The banyan tree's stillness and strength became a symbol of mindfulness and resilience in their lives. Buddha's teachings had awakened clarity and purpose within their busy minds. The grove's tranquility spread through the village, carried by whispers of those who encountered Buddha's wisdom. His teachings, rooted in simplicity, planted seeds of mindfulness in hearts open to his guidance. The banyan tree, deeply rooted and unwavering, embodied the profound truths of life. Another day, another journey unfolded as Buddha and his disciples walked through the quiet hillsides of Magadha. The morning air was crisp, carrying the faint aroma of wildflowers blooming along the path. Buddha led them with calm, measured steps, his presence radiating tranquility. They arrived at a small village where smoke curled upward from cooking fires. Villagers greeted them warmly, offering simple food. Buddha accepted the offerings graciously and spoke. Kindness transforms the mundane into sacred acts, enriching the giver and the receiver alike. As they departed the village, Buddha noticed a lamp glowing faintly in a farmer's window. He paused briefly and spoke. A lamp's light does not waver in the shelter of stillness, Buddha said. Turning toward his disciples, be as the lamp. One disciple, reflecting on the challenges of life, asked, Master, how can we shine steadily when darkness surrounds us? Buddha lifted his gaze to the fading stars above. Begin with the smallest spark of kindness, he said. It ignites the flame of compassion within. The journey continued through dense forests, where sunlight pierced the canopy in golden streaks. Birds sang a harmonious melody overhead. Buddha led them to a clearing, where a solitary lamp burned beneath a simple shrine. He gestured toward the flickering light. This lamp burns to honor wisdom and compassion, Buddha explained. Its flame illuminates both its surroundings and its source. A disciple, struggling with doubt, asked quietly, Master, what if the flame of kindness within us flickers or fades? Buddha approached the lamp and cupped his hands around its flame. Protect your flame from the winds of hatred and greed, Buddha replied. Kindness is nurtured through mindfulness and selfless acts. The disciples watched the lamp's unwavering glow, drawing strength from its silent lesson of resilience. As the day progressed, Buddha and his disciples reached a riverbank shaded by ancient willows. The river sparkled in the sunlight, flowing with gentle determination. Buddha sat by the water's edge and invited his disciples to join him. Observe the river, Buddha instructed. It carries light to the ocean, reflecting the sun's radiance without dimming its own. One disciple, burdened by feelings of insignificance, asked, Master, how can our kindness create meaningful change in the world? Buddha dipped his fingers into the river and let droplets fall back into the water. Every drop enriches the whole, Buddha said. Kindness ripples outward, touching lives we cannot foresee. The disciples sat quietly, contemplating the river's beauty and the depth of Buddha's teachings. A child from a nearby village approached timidly, holding a small clay lamp. Buddha accepted the lamp with a warm smile and turned to his disciples. This child's offering holds great meaning, Buddha said. He lit the lamp and placed it on the river's surface, where it floated gently. Let your kindness illuminate dark waters, Buddha said. Even a single light guides many through uncertainty and fear. The disciples bowed in reverence, their hearts inspired by the child's simple act. As evening descended, painting the sky in hues of amber and crimson, Buddha arrived at a hilltop monastery. A single lamp burned in the temple's entrance, its light casting soft shadows on the walls. Buddha knelt before the lamp and spoke softly. This flame has endured through countless nights. Sustained by steady hands, Buddha said. Our kindness must also endure trials. A weary monk approached and bowed deeply before Buddha, seeking guidance. Master, the monk began. How do we keep our light alive amidst exhaustion and despair? Buddha poured oil into the lamp's base, replenishing its strength. Renew your kindness through reflection and gratitude, Buddha replied. Every act of kindness fuels the eternal flame within. The monk's spirit lifted, and he vowed to rekindle his compassion with renewed dedication. That night, under the vast expanse of stars, Buddha addressed his disciples one final time for the day. A lamp in darkness does not curse the night, Buddha said. It fulfills its purpose by shining with clarity. The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts filled with gratitude for Buddha's timeless wisdom. The temple's lamps flickered gently, illuminating the path to peace and understanding. Buddha's teachings, rooted in simplicity, guided his disciples toward a life of mindful compassion. The flame of kindness burned brightly within each of them, a beacon in the journey of existence. The hilltop monastery became a sanctuary of light, carrying Buddha's lessons across the land. Villagers and travelers alike found solace in the lamp's glow, a reminder of life's boundless potential for kindness. Buddha's words resonated in their hearts, igniting the flame of compassion wherever they ventured. In the stillness of the night, the lamps continued to burn, their light unwavering. Buddha's teachings had transcended the confines of the moment, leaving an eternal legacy. The disciples walked away with renewed purpose, their minds illuminated by the radiance of Buddha's truth. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.